brothers and sisters. It's me, Lori Ann Spagna of LoriSpagna.com, to speak with you briefly today about channeling. So you want to be a channel, and I'm assuming if you're here now and listening, you're interested in channeling, which is essentially allowing information, energy, consciousness, wisdom, guidance, healing to come forward through you as a vehicle of communication from the higher realms, the non-physical realms, which include energetic dimensions or frequency bandwidths beyond our physical reality. And if you do, congratulations. It's a very exciting thing to be doing and a very wonderful thing to be sharing as a gift to those around you. So what I'm going to address today is a few key points that you would definitely want to know and need to know in order to really be an effective channeler. The first is what I would call divine discernment. Divine discernment involves becoming very, very conscious and very, very energetically attuned to the different energies, frequencies, and vibrations in the non-physical world. And when I use the word divine discernment, in this case, I'm talking specifically as it relates to channeling or being a relay, a message provider in the physical from the non-physical. So we need our divine discernment to determine exactly what messages, information, or energy is coming through as we are relaying that information, relaying it to those who are listening. And the divine discernment involved requires us to discern exactly what consciousness, what type of being or consciousness we are connecting with, and exactly who we are connecting with as we bring forward whatever information, energy, or consciousness is meant to come through. And the discernment is in determining exactly what that frequency bandwidth is, what that energetic consciousness is. Because, of course, we don't necessarily want to bring through just anything. And we have to decide up front who and what are we willing to bring through. And we have to become a very, very effective gatekeepers of our own consciousness and energy ourselves. We don't just let anything in, right? You have to decide what and who you're willing to let through. And that may involve angelics or ascended masters or your own higher self or some extraterrestrial team or animals, members of the animal kingdom. I channel all of them. But understand that when you open up your vehicle, if you don't really have that energetic divine discernment, other things could get in there. So you have to develop and very effectively refine your ability to identify whatever consciousness is coming to you that you would like to relay verbally and out loud for that information or energy to come through. So before ever even attempting to channel, you have to develop your ability to discern these different beings and levels of consciousness. So, for example, I can channel through even, I've been able to channel through the consciousness of COVID, the consciousness of the vax, the consciousness of weather or weather patterns or hurricanes, the consciousness of locations. You see, there's consciousness in everything. But one thing I knew I always would not allow was anything that did not match or exceed my frequency of love. Now, you have to develop all your ability to learn all of these different wavelength patterns, energetic frequencies, because if you're anything like me, it's very unlikely that you're willing to bring forward something that is, let's say, of the dark or of a non-benevolent nature or caliber. So working with teams and guides and channel teachers who teach channeling is an excellent way to start, because that will help you develop your divine discernment and give you tools, tips, practices, and techniques for developing that discernment. It's paramount. Now, the second thing, too, in channeling is also the ability to really make sure that your energy container is always as clear as it can be. That means in divine neutral, so that your personality self or your identity self does not interfere in any way with the message that's coming through, or the energy or the consciousness, and does not try to dilute it or interpret it or make any other kinds of interference with it. Because in reality, you are a messenger, a vehicle of information and energy. So if your personality self interrupts or interferes, or you're trying to translate it in some way or interpret it, you become a filter that really does not allow the clearest, purest, or most accurate information to come through. Now, finally, the other piece so let me say, developing your ability to do this is so important that you have to refine your own energetic frequency and vibration. In order to do that, sorry, I had to do a brief pause there. In order to do that, you have to really become very effective at clearing your own pillar, your own core pillar, your own ability to energetically vibrate at the purest frequencies. Now, this is the hardest part, because in reality, a pure channel, in order to be a pure channel, you must be able to purify your own energy field. And that means identifying any and all incongruencies, energy blocks, densities, shadow aspects, unconscious parts of you that put yourself in states of separation or duality. That is not something that happens overnight. So know that this is a lifetime process. It is a lifelong process that you will continue to develop and perfect, and then develop and perfect, and there really is no perfection. There's just a continuous process of learning, evolving, and growing. But the idea that you're working to clear your own core pillar is a combination of working with your own unconscious beliefs and belief systems, your whole energy field, all your chakra systems, all your energy of your multidimensional self that has any interference. And interference is energetics. Interference is thoughts, beliefs, belief systems, emotions, emotional entanglements, karmic residue, things that might be in your field, which is your morphogenetic field, that is an ever evolving, changing field of consciousness, of energy that you basically are the center of, in a sense. So working to clear and purify that is a lifetime process. And as you do it, and the more you do it, the more likely you will be more effective over time at becoming more and more of an effective channel or relayer. So that's the second thing. And ideally, you're going to be doing that. The way to do that is to be working with healers and intuitives to support and assist you on that. And of course, your own process too, because we never put we take responsibility for ourselves, right? We have to take responsibility for doing that for ourselves. But we also work with others who can support and assist us in the process, especially in identifying our own unconscious blocks that we might not be consciously aware of, and someone else might be able to facilitate for us. Always in our highest interest, of course. So that's the second big piece. And the third big piece I want to tell you is that in reality, when we are channeling, and I think this is true for just about every channel out there, we are all multidimensional beings. We live and exist in terms of our consciousness at multidimensional energetics. So in the physical world, we typically refer to that as a third dimensional physicality. And then when we incorporate the non-physical, the first sort of density of non-physical, we tend to call that the fourth dimensional reality. And when we start working with both of those in a conscious way, we tend to call that the fifth dimensional reality. But most of our channeling comes from beyond that. Most of the time, when we're doing effective quality channeling, we're accessing realms of sixth dimensional consciousness and beyond. And it's really infinite. But in order to access those, we have to recognize that we exist at those frequency bandwidths. Our consciousness, in some way, exists there too. So when I'm channeling, I'm always connecting and merging. I'm not actually allowing necessarily something to pass through my body in a physical way as if I'm separate from these beings. I'm merging my consciousness with the dimensional reality of consciousness where those beings or another consciousness exists. And through that merging, I become one with them or it. And that's how I'm allowed to bring it through. Now, your way may be different because there's lots of different kinds of channeling. Some people do what's called a complete trance channel, but mine is a merger where I unify at those frequency bandwidths, those dimensional realities, because I know I'm there and I'm one with them. I'm at one with them, whether it's an angelic or, whether it's, a rock person, a granite person. I mean, just the sky's the limit, really, when we start realizing and energetically vibrating at one with all that is. And we do that, again, through divine discernment, through clearing out our core pillar and continually practicing and up-leveling and expanding our consciousness, and then through recognizing that we are at one with whatever it is we're channeling. It's nothing really ever external to us in the first place. Now, I will just add this one fourth caveat, and that's that when you open up to channeling in some way, it's very possible and often likely, especially in the beginning stages, that you will start to have visitors, lots of visitors from the non-physical, and that may include even some unwanted hitchhikers or non-benevolent beings. You definitely do have to know how to effectively cut and clear your cords, attachments, entanglements, and snarlments, etc., especially to anything and everything that is not 100% you, your unique energy and consciousness. So again, working with people who can help support you and assist you, these are definitely things I do teach regularly in all of my classes and workshops, including especially clearing cords, connections, attachments, entanglements, etc., and really how to get into that energetic state of divine neutrality so that you can not only expand your light body and your multidimensional self, but also so that you can know what the different vibrational frequencies are and how to really be in your sacred heart center where you are divinely neutral and able to be unified with anyone and anything at your will and choice. So I hope this has been helpful. I know it's not a whole practicum, but it gives you a good outline, I think, of what you have to be aware of. And of course, I'm always open and available for more questions or support or assistance as you may need it. And you can always reach me at LoriSpagna.com or else on my YouTube channel by searching my name,